So I beat the first 2,000 rated player in my whole chess career here, and here they played the perk defense in this game, and I usually never play against the perk defense. I usually always play against e e5, or usually they play the move c5. So those are generally the openings I play against. But it was a really big surprise that they played d6 in this position. So I just stuck to the fundamentals and just developed the knight first, and grabbed the center. And after uh, the bishop bn shadows, I also put my bishop on d5 and black castles, and I put my bishop on d3 here. And now you have c6 here, and I castle, and now we have the move b5. b5, very ambitious. Even if they push b4, I don't mind the move knight to e2, so I can maneuver it in the future. So now I play the move queen to d2, and the queen to d2, just the idea is just trying to go for the bishop here. And now we have rook to e8. This is a big mistake here. I don't know why. It just looks like a nice developing move. And then I try to trade the bishop, and then they just decline the trade here, which both of them are misses, yes. And I play the move knight to e4. Sorry, e2, which guards the d4 pawn here. And I also want to play c3 to guard that pawn. And now we have a5. Black just wants to keep pushing, and so they just want to gain a lot of space. Now, I play rook to c1 here. The intention is just to push the c4 pawn. And now after the move b4 here, I play the move c3, challenging the pawn structure. So I could win a pawn at the very end of that. Now we have the move c5. And now I play knight to f4 here. And knight to f4, I know there's no clear idea. I just want to put my knight there for the moment. And my opponent plays the move knight to g4, attacking my bishop here. So this is apparently a miss. Not and in the game I played bishop g5, and after the move f6, now I went back, and I know they have this fork here, but why is this not? I thought, I don't know why this 2,000 player kind of neglected the chess fundamentals of just developing the pieces, but you can see that black has no developed pieces here, and yeah, so I was okay with the sacrifice here just because I sacrificed the knight and took the pawn, and I was okay with this because no way they can do anything about. They don't have an attack here, and I'm going to have a great attack here. So now we have the move queen to c7. They probably want to play the move d5 here and try to open up the center a little bit and just developing here. And now h3, the knight goes back, and now I just play rook to e1. Yeah. Now we have to move c4, just kicking my bishop. And in this position, of course, I can go to f1 here, but I think it's just better to go to b1, although the engine doesn't agree with it. I want to keep this bishop on this diagonal here. So now we have to move knight to c6. And now I play the move e5. I know, so this square is protected by 1, 2, 3, and it will be protected by the bishop after the knight moves. So I basically, in this position, I sacrifice the pawn here. And the reason why I sacrifice the pawn is because I want to because one of the reasons is because I have the bishops, and bishops thrive in open positions. So in this position, you can see my bishop is being locked here by this pawn. So one common idea is to sacrifice that pawn, and black took in the game. And now I have this great diagonal, and I chose to even trade the knights here to get this check. So I'm forking the rook and the king in this position. And now we have to move e6, and e6 trying to just attack my queen, but of course they just blundered the rook there. And now they play bishop to d7, and now I just go back, and I'm threatening checkmate right here with the bishop queen battery, and there's only really they can go play the move bishop to c6 here. So bishop c6, going for this diagonal and also defending the mate there. But instead, they just play the move knight to g6, and now I take the pawn there, and they took this pawn, but it doesn't really matter because now I'll take the c4 pawn and after to move bishop to b6. Now I take the a5 pawn, and after the black queen takes. Now I have to be really careful here. These bishops are incredibly strong. This bishop is incredibly strong, and black can just bring the bishop to b5, and I'm gonna have almost no squares for my rook. And I spent you can see by the time here, I spent a lot of time trying to think about what I want to do in this position, and I decided to play the move h4. So my bishop was hanging, and I also want to play h5 in the future. And now black decides to play the move e5, and that made my plan easier. And after rook to e6, I just took the knight and retreated my bishop. So just to kind of be wary about what's dangerous about this position, I don't want to play the move f4, just because it's going to open up my bishop here, and I don't want to face any tactics, any possible tactics. I don't want to play this move because my rook will be hanging. I can't play this move because it's just going to be taken by the queen. So the only real square that I had was this bishop c1 that I saw in the time. I spent about like 54 seconds on that. And now we have queen bishop to h3, and I just play g3, and after this move, I sacrifice my rook here. Pretty much, they're threatening to, because this pawn is pinned, they're just threatening to capture the pawn. And after the trade here, I check, and then I take the. So I have this battery against this rook and the pawn there. So I decided to take a check and then take the rook here. And I know this is still fine for me because after check, it's just checkmate. So that's how I beat my first 2000 rated player.